Have you ever imagined what it's like to hunt in absolute darkness? No light, no movement, not even a sound you can clearly detect. And still, to find your prey with deadly precision. How does an animal detect movement beneath layers of thick snow? How does it locate a tiny creature that makes almost no sound? And how can it strike flawlessly without ever seeing it? Today, you're about to meet one of the most mysterious hunters in the animal kingdom. A creature of the night, silent and still, blessed with one of nature's most refined senses, the supernatural hearing of an owl. But not just any owl. This one can hear the impossible. How does this sense actually work? What makes its anatomy so different from other birds? And how does it turn sound into a lethal weapon? Get ready to discover secrets that will completely change the way you see and hear these incredible animals. And if you're fascinated by animal intelligence, extreme adaptations, and the hidden wonders of nature, don't forget to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and drop a comment with your favorite part. Now, let's enter the world of the owl. Picture yourself walking through a snow-covered forest. The air is still, the ground is silent, not a single branch moves. Yet somewhere, high in the trees, she's there, the owl. Few animals inspire as much fascination as this nocturnal predator. She doesn't sing, she doesn't chase, she doesn't roar. She waits, watches, and strikes with flawless precision. Throughout history, owls have been symbols of wisdom, mystery, and even omens. But behind the legends is a bird with incredible biological abilities, especially in something we rarely think about: sound. While most birds rely heavily on vision to hunt, owls behave as if the world around them is made of echoes. They don't need to see, they listen, but not the way we do. They hear frequencies far beyond human reach, sounds so subtle we wouldn't even notice them in total silence. This hearing ability isn't just an extra feature, it's the core of the owl's survival, and what makes her one of the most efficient hunters on Earth. Now, let's dive deeper into how nature shaped this sense into the perfect biological instrument. The secret behind the owl's supernatural hearing doesn't lie only in her ears, it's in her entire body. Let's start with the head. Unlike most birds, owls have what scientists call a facial disc. This unique structure acts like a satellite dish. Each feather is carefully shaped and positioned to capture and funnel sound directly toward the ears. It's as if her face is a living microphone, one that picks up the faintest whispers of the wild. But the real magic lies in the fact that her ears are asymmetrical. Yes, one ear is higher than the other. It may sound strange, but it's pure evolutionary genius. This asymmetry allows the owl to detect not just the direction of a sound, but also its vertical position, something most animals can't do. While others hear in 2 dimensions, the owl hears in 3. Imagine a mouse moving beneath the snow. It makes no visible movement, almost no sound, but the faint crunch of its tiny paws against the icy ground sends micro-vibrations into the air. From high above, perched in the shadows, the owl hears it and instantly knows where the prey is and how deep. Her hearing is so accurate she can hunt in complete darkness without ever laying eyes on her target. But how does she turn that sound into a perfect attack? In the next part, we'll follow the path from sound to strike and discover how her brain turns noise into a deadly calculation. When an owl hears something, she doesn't just notice it, she maps it. Her brain processes sound with incredible speed and accuracy. In humans, sound is interpreted in fractions of a second, but owls have more brain regions dedicated to auditory processing than almost any other bird. She's not just aware there's a noise. She's analyzing the intensity, the timing between ears, the angle, and even the depth. With this information, the owl builds a mental 3D map of the prey's location without ever seeing it. And when she launches into action, she doesn't hesitate. With wings designed for silent flight and claws sharp as needles, she dives toward the exact point where the sound originated, even if the prey is hidden beneath snow, leaves, or shallow earth. What's even more incredible, she rarely misses. In controlled experiments, scientists observed that owls, even blindfolded, were still able to strike prey with remarkable precision. It's as if they see with their ears, and in many ways, they do. Next, we'll explore how their bodies are designed to never interfere with this sense, especially during flight. Most birds beat their wings with force. Their movement through the air creates sound, sometimes loud, sometimes subtle, but always present. Owls are different. When they take flight, it's as if the air itself doesn't notice. Their flight is virtually silent, and that's not a coincidence. It's the result of a brilliant evolutionary design. Owl feathers are soft, uniquely shaped, and edged with tiny fringes that break up the airflow, dispersing the sound that would normally be produced. In essence, each feather acts like a built-in silencer. This allows the owl to fly without interfering with her own hearing. Because what good is extraordinary hearing if the noise of your own wings drowns it out? This natural engineering is so advanced that modern aeronautical engineers study owl feathers to design quieter aircraft and drones. But silence in flight does more than conceal her approach. It also allows the owl to keep listening while she moves, adjusting her direction mid-air based on updated sound cues from her prey. Imagine a predator that hears with pinpoint precision, while flying through the darkness like a whisper on the wind. In the next part, we'll see how this supernatural ability varies across different owl species, each adapted to survive in its own unique world. Not all owls are the same, and that's what makes them even more fascinating. While they all share the blueprint of a silent predator, each species has evolved unique auditory tools tailored to its environment. Take the snowy owl, for example. Living in the Arctic, where snow blankets the ground and sound travels differently, this owl developed a more rounded facial disc and denser facial feathers to better capture faint noises under layers of ice. The barn owl, on the other hand, thrives in temperate regions and open fields. It listens for tiny rodents rustling beneath low vegetation and can launch a strike based on a single point of sound, adjusting its flight path with subtle corrections in real time. In tropical forests, where sound bounces between dense leaves and branches, some owls developed even more pronounced ear asymmetry, filtering out irrelevant noise and locking onto the sound that matters most. It's as if every owl species has its own finely tuned sound dial, each perfectly adjusted to its personal acoustic battlefield. This adaptability makes their super hearing not just powerful, but also flexible, precise, and beautifully engineered by nature. And while we humans still rely on microphones, satellites, and software to detect sounds through walls or track noises in 3D, owls do it naturally and flawlessly every day. Next, we'll discover how this remarkable sense shapes not only how owls hunt, but also how they live, communicate, and raise their young. When we think about an owl's hearing, it's easy to focus only on hunting. But this extraordinary sense shapes nearly every aspect of its life. During the day, many owls remain still, hidden in tree hollows or camouflaged against bark. To the human eye, they seem disconnected, resting. But their ears, always alert. Every unfamiliar rustle, distant movement, or shift in the air is registered, even as they sit completely motionless. Their hearing also plays a key role in communication, especially during mating season. Unlike most birds, owls don't sing loudly or call in bursts. Instead, they use soft, low-frequency vocalizations that are subtle and incredibly precise. Because they hear so well, they don't need to be loud. Just a quiet hoot in the right direction can mark territory or signal a mate. This whisper-like communication is full of meaning, unnoticed by us, but crystal clear to other owls. And for young owls, hearing is vital from the beginning. Before they can fly, they watch and listen to their parents hunt. They learn by following sounds, practicing their own ability to detect movement in the dark. Their world is built on sound, not just to survive but to understand, to grow and to connect. While other animals see the world in flashes and colors, the owl experiences it in layers of sound, each one loaded with information. Next, we'll enter the world of modern science and learn how researchers are uncovering the full depth of the owl's auditory power. For centuries, owls were wrapped in mystery and myth, but only recently has modern science begun to uncover just how extraordinary their hearing truly is. Around the world, researchers, from European universities to North American labs, have built specialized environments to study owls under controlled conditions. They use soundproof rooms, high-speed sensors, and 3D simulations to test how owls react to even the faintest noises. What they've found is astonishing. Even in total darkness, with no visual reference at all, owls can pinpoint the source of a sound with an error margin of less than 2 degrees. That means nearly perfect accuracy. And the speed. They process these sounds and strike within a fraction of a second, adjusting mid-flight based on sound updates alone. Brain scans reveal that owls have dedicated auditory regions that rival the spatial processing centers in the human brain, only far more specialized for sound. In one experiment, researchers tried to confuse owls by introducing echoes and fake sounds. Yet even then, the birds often identified the real source. Their ability to filter, localize, and react is so refined that engineers in biomedical fields are now studying owl anatomy to develop better hearing aids and sound detection systems for humans. In other words, owls aren't just marvels of nature. They're models for the future of technology. In the next part, we'll explore how this hearing not only helps owls survive, but helps entire ecosystems stay in balance. In every forest, field, or frozen plain where an owl lives, she isn't just hunting to survive. She's quietly regulating the balance of nature. As top predators, owls play a vital role in controlling populations of rodents and small mammals. These animals, while seemingly harmless, reproduce rapidly. Without natural control, they can overrun an ecosystem, damaging crops, spreading disease, and disrupting food chains. That's where the owl comes in. With her precision hearing, she finds prey when others can't. In winter during low activity hours, even beneath snow or soil, she hunts where others fail, and her impact is powerful, even if unseen. In agricultural areas, the presence of owls can reduce the need for pesticides. They naturally manage pests, quietly, efficiently, and without harming the environment. In forests, owls help maintain balance between predators and prey, preventing population booms that could destroy vegetation or create ripple effects that destabilize the entire ecosystem. So, the owl isn't just a brilliant hunter. She's a silent force that keeps nature in rhythm, and it's her hearing that allows her to do it. To detect what others miss, to act where the human eye sees nothing. In the next part, we'll explore how humans have viewed owls over time, from ancient symbols to misunderstood creatures, and now, powerful icons of wisdom and conservation. Since ancient times, owls have held a strange place in the human imagination. They don't sing during the day, they don't travel in flocks, they don't build flashy nests or announce themselves with color. They appear silently, only when the world grows quiet. In Greek mythology, owls were symbols of wisdom, sacred companions to Athena, the goddess of knowledge and strategy. In Roman times, their appearance was seen as a sign, sometimes of death, other times of insight. Among many Native American cultures, owls represented ancestral knowledge and spiritual protection, while in others they were feared as messengers of the unknown. This mix of respect and fear was born from their mystery. Their sudden, silent arrival, their unblinking eyes that seem to pierce through shadows, their presence that feels both ghostly and profound. But during the Middle Ages, fear began to dominate. In parts of Europe, owls were associated with witchcraft, curses, and bad luck. This led to persecution in some regions, where they were misunderstood and even hunted. Thankfully, that's changing. Today, as science peels back the myths, we're rediscovering the truth about owls. They're not omens, they're marvels, each one a perfectly tuned instrument of nature. Conservation projects now protect them. Wildlife centers study them, and more people around the world are learning to admire them, not for superstition, but for what they truly are. In our final part, we'll reflect on what the owl can teach us, not just about nature, but about how to listen and observe in a noisy world. In the end, the owl isn't just a skilled predator. She's a reminder that the world isn't only what we see, it's what we choose to hear. While most animals rely on light, movement, and chaos, the owl moves through shadows, guided by something deeper: sound. She teaches us that real perception goes beyond the obvious, that sometimes listening carefully is more powerful than rushing to see. In a world filled with noise, distraction, and urgency, the owl keeps doing what she's always done: waiting, watching, listening, and acting with purpose. Her silence is deliberate, her precision extraordinary, and her role in nature irreplaceable. She inspires us to slow down, to tune in, to remember that what's hidden is often the most important. If you made it this far, tell me in the comments, which part of this story surprised you the most? Did you already know owls were this incredible? Suggest an animal for the next video. I'd love to hear your ideas. And if this story fascinated you, leave a like, share it with a curious friend, and subscribe for more. Because in the animal world, there's always more than meets the eye, and more than most ears can hear.